What's good, YouTube? We back. It's your boy Cass, and today we here with you know, Midnight Evil. And I don't know if y'all know about Midnight Evil, but basically, Midnight Evil was a game where I had to read into a storybook, like you know, it's something in the storybook that happens when you open the storybook. Things come to get you. But we're gonna get right into it, y'all. We're gonna get right into it. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna get right into it. As the clock approached midnight, William Grinkle was fast asleep. Oh, he's all snug in his little bed with his jammy jams on. Probably watching Bananas in pajamas. Tonight was different though. He woke to a strange sound coming from the attic. Okay. Is he gonna go to there? Is he going? As he climbed the stairs, he felt something. He had never seen his chest before. There you go. Being nosy. That's all it takes. Just an innocent book. Nah, boy. Tonight his life would change forever. Nathan Sanders presents. Okay, it's a game by Nathan Sanders. He presents it. It's his game. Midnight Evil. Let's go. You gotta read this book, y'all. Oh boy. Okay, so I got to look around. Long before the first humans stood upright and took their place in the world, there was a beautiful land.
Long before the first humans stood upright and took their place in the world, there was a beautiful land that was ruled by what many would come to call the Fae. These ancient beings were worshipped by mankind, but they were also feared. These ancient beings were worshipped by mankind, but they were also feared. Humans were right to be afraid, for there were many different creatures that lived in the darkness, watching us, waiting.
Most were harmless enough,
amusing themselves by causing mischief and playing pranks on humans that crossed their paths. However, some had more sinister intentions. The Earthling, for example, have developed a liking for the taste of human children. These monsters.
Oh boy.
These monsters are small, unnaturally fast, and impossible to kill. It was an unlucky tragedy for my people that we decided to build our village here, right in the middle of the Earthlings' territory.
Bro. that's so. Oh my God.
We have lost so many of our children over this past year. There aren't enough tears in this world to weep for their loss. We have lost so many of our children over this past year. There aren't enough tears in this world to weep for their loss.
Okay.
Thankfully, though, my grandmother taught me well in the ways of my druid ancestors. I may not be able to kill the little beasts, but I was able to work out a spell that binds them to this book. I can only hide it and pray that it never falls into the hands of I can only hide it and pray that it never falls into the hands of a child. If you are reading this, know that I'm truly sorry for the demons that have now been passed on to you. Opening the book will have awakened them, and I'm sure they will be ravenously hungry.
Hold on, wait, whoa. Alright, see, that's who we screwed up. We opened the book. Opening the book, let them out.
Opening the book will have awakened them, and I'm sure they will be ravenously hungry. Once the book is opened, you must read it out loud from beginning to end in order to return them to their magical prison. Be watchful.
Be watchful.
Be watchful. They only attack if you don't see them coming. Most importantly, once you finish this book, keep it hidden so that no one ever opens it again. Most importantly, once you finish this book, keep it hidden so that no one ever opens it again.
Okay.
WIGS-FM 98.7 Game Talk.
Hello, darkness. My name is Nick Gloom. It's just me tonight.
3 hours later.
Alright. Got a nice little room here. Otari, Saws, Toastbusters. Yeah. License plates. The Keystone State. Oh, you see it back there. Oh, where is he? Whoa, I ain't like that. I ain't like that one bit.
Little Maggie O'Brien was the first. The children had been playing in Hogan's Forest when they all heard a noise. Sensing no danger because there were so many of them, 12 children in all decided to investigate the source of the strange sound.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
As they all searched high and low, they soon realized that Maggie was missing. Frantically, they began searching for their friend. She was a small girl who loved to play hide and seek. Her big brother Colin insisted that she was probably hiding somewhere, safe and giggling to herself as she watched everyone search for her.
Yo, oh my God, this is so creepy, bro. Where? Oh, where is it, bro?
The sun sank low in the sky and the forest grew dark.
Stop playing with me, yo.
The children, frustrated and panicked, ran back to the village to alert their parents that little Maggie was nowhere to be found. That's when everyone lit torches and spread out through the woods, calling her name.
The little girl's mother sobbed desperately as we all inspect every corner of those woods in hopes of finding her. Oh my
The little
God.
girl's mother sobbed desperately as we all inspected every corner of those woods in hopes of finding her. Her brother... Her brother kept searching, tears streaming down his cheeks.
I'm her big brother,
He said, rubbing his eyes.
I'm supposed to make sure nothing happens to her.
It's not your fault, Colin, I assured him. We'll find her soon, and she'll be no worse for the wear. He nodded, forced a smile, and we all continued looking. The moment I heard him scream, I knew he had found her.
Ugh! Oh my god.
Rather, what was left of her, which wasn't much. We were sure it was Maggie because she had worn her favorite hair bow that day. Her father plucked the pink ribbon from the body and fell to his knees, wailing into the darkness.
No, you jerk.
Her father plucked the pink ribbon from the body and fell to his knees, wailing into the darkness.
Where do they be at, bro?
Poor Colin tried to tell us then. He said that she had been covered in what he described as little green men.
Little green men.
They were fat and green
He stammered.
with bright glowing eyes. They were biting off bits of skin and flesh.
No one,
Ugh! Oh my god!
no one believed the lad. We all
Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't.
We all attributed the horrible ordeal to a hungry wild animal. Of course, what else could it possibly be? Scooping up what remained of little Maggie, the townsfolk set to work preparing for her funeral. We had no idea the horrors that lay ahead.
Ugh. Oh my god.
I thought to myself how strange her wounds looked. I couldn't help but think back to what Colin had said about the little green men. It made me think of the stories my grandmother used to tell me. She said that our druid ancestors spoke of tiny creatures that lived long ago in the swamps and marshes surrounding our lands.
Where?
She said that our druid ancestors spoke of tiny creatures that lived long ago in the swamps and marshes surrounding our lands. The Earthlings, she called them. There were 3 tribes, each being their own breed of evil. One tribe, I recall, she said were green and fat.
Yo, see?
They would lure children away from safety and feast on their flesh.
Beat it, buddy.
We didn't live near any swamps. Surely the boy's mind was playing tricks on him. Besides, the Earthlings weren't real. They couldn't be.
Okay. So we got another chapter done. Oh my god. Alright. Okay.
Maggie O'Brien's funeral was just what anyone would expect. Everyone did their best to comfort the grieving parents. Colin kept to himself.
Oh my god. Oh!
Everyone assumed it was because he blamed himself. After his sister had been laid to rest, I came to him to ask him how he was doing. He looked up at me, eyes red from either crying, lack of sleep, or a combination of the two, and said,
I really saw them. The little green monsters.
Where are you? Where? Can we up there?
My heart ached as I put my arms around the boy. I kept
Oh, where? I see you. Is it? Oh my
telling
god.
myself that seeing his little sister in pieces couldn't
Oh
have
my
been easy
god,
for him.
y'all. I see.
He was just in shock. The stories of the Earthlings were only told to scare children into doing what they were told. That was all. The first thing my grandmother told me about the Earthlings was that there were 3 tribes.
Alright. So these Earthlings kill children. We found that out in the story. One already killed the young boy
The green
Colin's
ones
sister.
had round bellies and piercing blue eyes. She said they could be heard if you walked deep in the swamp at night. They would laugh and sing as they danced around their tiny campfires, which would appear only as tiny flickering lights through the trees. They were the least lethal of the three tribes, but every bit as evil.
Are you serious?
They were the least
Let's
lethal
go.
of the three tribes, but every bit as evil.
Lord have mercy.
The red ones were more temperamental and even
Red
faster than
ones!
their green cousins.
Oh my God, and they
They didn't
fast.
sing or dance around campfires, and their celebrations were a bit more gruesome.
Come on, I don't need none.
They
Yo.
prefer to eat children from the inside out.
Oh,
It was even thought by some that they were only red because they were stained by the blood of their victims.
where?
Fiery red, bristle-like hairs sprouted from the tops of their heads, and their glowing yellow eyes seemed cold and calculating.
Yo, this game is actually very creepy.
The pale Urklings were in another class altogether. They had white
Ugh! Green, red, and pale. There you go.
They had
Oh my
white
God.
skin and wild, untamed blue hair that flowed out in every direction. The most unsettling thing about them was that they had no eyes at all, yet they somehow were the most keen and efficient killers of the three.
Oh my God, see.
Grandmother said that their long, wiry hair could somehow sense the presence and locations of children. There were some things that all three tribes had in common.
Hold on, I see.
Urklings preferred to eat after midnight and would only attack if the child didn't make direct eye contact with them.
I see. Oh my God, bro, in your headset?
I reassured myself that the O'Brien girl being attacked barely after sunset meant that she had to have been the victim of a wild animal attack.
And they jerked me
I reassured
again!
myself that the O'Brien girl being attacked barely after sunset meant that she had to have been the victim of a wild animal attack.
Oh my God. They be slamming stuff, bro! Oh God!
A few of the men in the village came together to hunt down the beast that killed the girl. They came back.
Oh, where are you? Where? I don't see you.
They came back 2 days later, carrying the carcass of a large wolf. The whole village breathed a sigh of relief, and a big celebration was held.
Lord have mercy.
The only one besides myself that remained anxious was Colin. Looking at his face that night, I knew that he believed the creatures that killed Maggie were still out there, waiting. He was right.
All right.
WIGS-FM 98.7 Game Talk.
Hello, darkness. Welcome to the top of the hour. Again, I'm your host, Nick Gloom, filling in for Nate tonight. That was an interesting hour, I must say.
3 hours later.
All right, YouTube. That's where we're gonna leave it. We're not doing no more. If you want to see another episode of Midnight Evil, please smash that like button. If you're not gonna do it for yourself, do it for me. Smash that like button. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, it's the perfect time. Hit the subscribe. It's right. It's right now. Yeah, hit that joint, the bell for all notifications, man. Like I said, if you enjoyed like I do, I hope so. And until next time, y'all.